Hi there, how are you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever you're watching me from, thank you so much for finding the time. My name is Millicent Oloo. I would like to sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who is watching, my subscribers, the new, the old, those of you who have just stopped by here to listen. Thank you so much. I value your time and I appreciate that you've gotten the time to be with me today. Today's episode is about self-identity. Please stay tuned up to the end and I hope you find something for you. Now, when we're talking about self-identity, what comes to your mind? I mean, so many things. When I think about self-identity, I just think about how I have transformed over time, since I was a child, as a teenager, in high school, in university, in my professional life, now in a family setup, and also in the workspace, just growing through different roles and responsibilities. And sometimes I tend to feel that I have changed, but then I wonder, has my true self really changed? The real me, who I am, who I have been. Have I been true to myself throughout this, life's transformation? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself. Because self-identity is about you being your true self regardless of the setup. Sometimes certain things affect our self-identity. For example, maybe you're a very talkative person, and I'm not mentioning people here, I am just saying maybe you talk a lot, and as a child this is who you are. And then your parents are very quiet people. So maybe every time you try to talk, they will tell you, keep quiet, keep quiet. So over time, this side of you is suppressed. And then as you grew older, it sort of comes up. And, it can be confusing. But the question is, are you a talkative person or are you a quiet person? So we are born with certain natural traits, but then as life happens, external factors affect our identity. I'm going to look at two things that I know significantly affect our identity. At least it has affected mine, and I hope you can relate. But before I get into that, just two questions for you. What is your identity? Is your identity working for you, or is it working against you? And then secondly, has your identity evolved over time? Would you say that you are a different person many years ago and you're a totally different person now? So think about this as we get into the discussion. So like I mentioned, we are born with certain natural traits, but then as we grow, depending on the environment, the people around us, sometimes these traits are strengthened or they are weakened. So the two things that I think affect our identity a lot, of course there are many other things. I want to talk about work or our professional lives, and then I will also talk about family or marriage, if you like. So when we start our professional lives, you're thrown, or you find yourself in a new environment, if you like. The companies we work for, they have cultures, they have values, so you are required to act in a certain way. In a certain company, you're also given certain roles. And so say you've worked in this company for so many years, you've grown through the ranks. So you've gotten different roles, and now even over time, this is how you identify yourself. You identify yourself with the roles, with the title. So now you're this officer, you're this director, you're this manager, you're this, chief something, the C-suite colleagues. So over time, this becomes your identity. I mean, if you've worked in a company for, say, over 10 years, You are literally associated with that company. In fact, I don't know, my beautiful ladies, probably you are identified as so and so from company X. Do you know Caroline from company X? Do you know Vincent from company X? Do you know Mary from company X? So, in fact, at the end of your name is the name of your company. And this is okay because people have known you and you have been in this space for a long time. But now the question is, what happens when that job ends? So if you've worked there for 15 years and then that job ends, meanwhile you've really grown, you're 15 years older, and then now what? I can tell you that when this is stripped away from you, you feel like a sense of you has been stripped. A part of you has been taken away. How do you rebuild that? And so the question I have for you is your job really your identity? But then there's another twist to it. There are some of us who are really lucky and fortunate to really have jobs that bring out the best in you. You have jobs that really not only brings out the best in you, so if you're really a talkative person and then you find this role as maybe a PR person, a public relations officer, then you're really aligned to who you are. So when you find roles that complement your true self, then that's a good thing because then even if the job ends, there's a part of you, your true self, that came alive through that job. But sometimes, because of life, sometimes we take jobs to pay bills, and it's not all the time that we have the luxury to truly, get jobs that are aligned to our passion. And so if we're in this kind of roles and you're working in this company for so long, then when that job ends or transitions happen, then what happens to you? Is your identity affected? And how do you adjust? So our jobs are really a very important part of our lives. We spend so much time doing our jobs. So it's natural that over time, our identity is going to be associated with, really what we are doing. So it's important to just be aware and know if you're working in a certain space, try and find out duties that really give you joy, duties that allow you to bring out your real self. It may not be a role that you're really excited about, but in that company there could be aspects of different roles that bring out the best in you. So you could volunteer maybe to support colleagues. Maybe you're doing a desk job, but you really like talking to people. Maybe you're doing a desk job and your work just involves maybe sitting around in the computer. Maybe you're an accountant, and so you're mostly at your desk. But then you also thrive talking to people. Then make friends with colleagues in other departments, and if your protocols and rules allow, once in a while then accompany them to the field to just talk to people, talk to communities. So find a space within your company or within your job that allows your true self to come out. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is marriage. Yes. I've had people saying that, when you get married, you get lost. Or I know comments have been made where, people are saying she just lost herself when she got into that marriage. What do they mean? I don't know. Do they mean, that you are a certain kind of a person, maybe a really nice, pleasant person, and then when you got married, you lost yourself? What does that mean? But the truth is, of course, when you get married, you're, I don't say you're a different person, but like I said, your identity is affected by certain external factors. So you have these new roles and responsibility, you're in this new space, and chances are you may adopt certain traits that, or certain traits about you may come out that you didn't even know. So sometimes our identity, I would say sometimes comes alive or can even get lost in a marriage. But now once you get married, there's even how the society views you. Now you're Mrs. So and so. Sometimes it comes with its own, good things. There's a respect that also comes with it. There's the way community looks at you with a lot of respect, yeah, as opposed to maybe when you are single. But then also, the question I want you to ask yourself is, who are you truly? Apart from you being Mrs. So and so, apart from you being Mama so and so, somebody's mother, who are you truly? And things also happen in marriage. And I'm not praying for any, bad thing. I actually pray for marriages to flourish. But then, if in that marriage, then you're not becoming your true authentic self, I think it's important to interrogate that. And it's important to find space, just like I was saying, within your workspace, within your marriage. It's then important to have this kind of conversations with your spouse. What is it that brings you alive in that marriage? What is it that you can do in that marriage to bring out your true self so you can be this mother? But if you used to be, say, this very expressive person, this fashionable person, or this creative person, and then you feel now suddenly within your marriage, you're not able to express this, then I really encourage you to find a way. Either talk to your spouse so that you can explore avenues where your creative self can come out. And it's really possible. So I know that a lot of us get our identity in our marriages, but then just imagine if that marriage ends, or if we take that marriage for a second and just placed it aside. And then now we are talking to you. Who are you? So this is the challenge that I'm leaving you, for you to reflect. In whatever space you find yourself, is that place allowing you to bring out the best, to bring out who you truly are? So then how do we remain our true authentic self? And the thing is, it can actually really be exhausting when you find yourself day in, day out, you feel like you're being pushed and pulled left, right, and center to be something that you are not. I don't know if you've felt this. I mean, it's something I've also struggled with, but I must say, I think as you grow older, you learn to become assertive, and you also learn to be comfortable, saying no to some things. I mean, for example, I enjoy being by myself. I don't mind spending time indoors and maybe reading, watching a movie, listening to music, and I'm truly happy. I don't need to have crowds. I don't even really need to have company. I'm not saying I don't need company, but I'm just okay in that space. And then you find yourself in a space where people are pushing you and telling you, let's go, let's do this. People who really have a lot of energy. And I find that if I'm exposed a lot to this kind of environment, then it really just exhausts me. I feel tired, and sometimes I just want to be quiet, and I'm okay with that. So if you find yourself that you're being really pushed and pulled along to do things that are not really your true self, it can be exhausting. And at one point, you might actually really let it out, on people. But really, you can end up being miserable and unhappy. So what can you do to really bring out your authentic self? There are many things that we can do. I just want to share with you a few that you can consider so that you're really, most of the time, aligned to who you really are. So one, focus on your strengths. Our identity has a way of coming out, and sometimes this can present itself in form of our strengths, things that we do really well and we do easily. So focus on those things. Identify those things that make you happy, those things that make you thrive, and focus your energies on that. 2, are you a people pleaser? This is something that can really take a toll on you. You see, when you're a people pleaser, it means you're not being your authentic self. You put you aside so that you can make other people happy. Now, like I said, it can be exhausting. I know we can be you can be a people pleaser for so many reasons. Maybe, you want favors, maybe you want to be accepted into a certain circle. But then that's the thing. Do you have to really go out of your way to just put what you value, what is important for you, and prioritize what is important for other people just so that you can gain acceptance? No. It's important to just be able to articulate who you are, what you want. If it's at the workspace, and people are saying we go this direction, if it has really nothing to do with your role and responsibility, maybe it's just about pressure, and so there's this in thing in the office, maybe, people have to go certain places, certain times. I mean, you don't have to do it. If that doesn't make you happy, if that doesn't bring out who you are, and you feel it's just causing you, pressure, undue pressure, then don't. And remember, you can't make everybody happy. Let me tell you, this is something I've also struggled with. I don't call it acceptance, but it would bother me if I was in a room or if I was doing something, and I would try to make sure that everybody is happy. I really try to be diplomatic and all. Well, it's something I still try to do up to date, and it's fine. However, I think it's important to really understand that you cannot make everybody happy. And I'm glad that I'm gradually getting comfortable with that if I'm truly convinced, this is what I need to do, these are my values, and it has nothing to do, with work or me compromising my work, that I'm just comfortable to say, it's all right, you guys go ahead, do it, I'm okay. Or if I do something that I'm really supposed to do and certain people are not happy, I'm also okay. Why? Because I'm gradually learning the importance of being true to yourself. There's no need of just going pleasing people to do things and you're not expressing how you feel. And then, when the doors close, you're there sad and, disgruntled, and you're just wondering, why did I even do it? Why? So check that and just try as much as you can to be true to yourself. Another point I have for you is learn to spend time alone. Spending time alone is not easy. But actually create time in your very busy schedule, even in your house, to just be by yourself. Do things that you love, even just have that space to be quiet. I know this can be difficult because, again, when you're spending time alone, you're actually alone with your thoughts. And sometimes we are still not comfortable to be alone with our thoughts, because when you're alone, a lot of things come to your mind, the mistakes you've done, the things you're struggling with, and so on and so forth. And maybe you're not ready to even address some of these issues. And actually, some people avoid this, and they would rather just spend time with people so that they don't have to be alone with their thoughts. But the thing is, when you learn to spend time alone, as those thoughts come, that is really who you are. You see, when you're alone in your privacy, the thoughts, the feelings that you have, my dear sister, that is who you are. And so spending time alone will reveal so much about you. It will reveal to you what is important for you, as you analyze things. It will reveal to you what you really value. And so as you learn the habit of spending time alone, I tell you, with time, you're going to realize that you're saying yes to things that are really important for you. So don't be afraid to spend time alone. Get to know you. Now, this point we've talked about, don't compare yourself to others. You are you. There's only one you. You are the only you that we have in this world, I know. But don't compare yourself to others. First of all, it's exhausting, and I know some of you can share this. I know we do it, but then that is not how we should be living our days. As you constantly compare yourself to others, it's first of all exhausting because, like I said in a previous episode, we all have different paths. We have different opportunities. We have different strengths, And so as you compare yourself to another, this is taking a toll on you. Meanwhile, you're suppressing who you really are. So while you're busy comparing yourself to others, what happens to you? When will we get to see the real you? When will you nurture the real you? And once again, comparing yourself to others can also have, sometimes can have a negative impact on you, because then you admire so much what you see. And if that is so much so that you don't have time to nurture you, to bring out your good qualities and traits, then it's not doing you any service. So don't compare yourself to others. Walk and run your race. Make yourself better. Do the best you can do every day to bring out the best in you, to bring out who you really are, because that's your gift to the world. Yeah, I think I already mentioned this, and that is just learning to say no. When you say no to things that you feel are pushing and pulling you, they are not aligned to who you are actually saying yes to you. So get comfortable saying no. I'm not saying you just say no to everything, but then listen to yourself. And whenever you're being asked or you find in a situation where you're required to do something, just really listen to yourself. How do I feel about this? Don't ignore that thought, and don't ignore the feelings you get. When you feel, no, do I really want to do this? Listen to that voice and just be comfortable saying no if you really don't want to do it. You don't have to do anything to please anyone. You should only do anything to please you. If you're happy to do it, then fine. If you're not, it's okay to say no. So, my beautiful ladies, what is your true identity? The way the world sees you, is that really who you are? Is that how you want to be seen? Is your identity evolving? Are you doing the best you can to bring out your authentic self? I would like to leave you with this. Remember, your identity is your currency. It is your strength, so use it. So thank you so much for finding the time to tune in and listen to me as I just, share with you my reflections on self-identity. I hope you get the courage and confidence to really pursue who you are and bring out the person you are and nurture it so you can be happy, so you can thrive. Thank you so much for taking your time once again. I want to wish you a beautiful week ahead. As we step into this new week, what are we stepping into? Our true authentic self, whether at work or at the home front. Remember once again that I release my videos every Sunday at 3 p.m. East African time. So every Sunday at 3 p.m. East African time, tune in, join me, and let's encourage one another. And also, if you like these videos, please share with a lady or two so that they too can get inspired. I also value your feedback. So as you watch my videos, this and many others that I've already released, please leave your comments. Tell me what you like to see. Tell me if you feel there's something I should do differently. I'm really here just to ensure that we inspire women, that we're able to deal with our insecurities. So your feedback is important to me. Until next time, take care and God bless you.